Is I am audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
So I will introduce myself. I am Dr. Atul. I am working as a professor in epidemiology at Center for Cancer Epidemiology, Tata Memorial Center, Mumbai, India. We are also responsible for IARC Regional Hub for Cancer Registration for Southeast Asia. The objective of the IARC Hub to support the cancer registries technically, to arrange a training program for the Southeast Asia cancer registry. Is I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. To support the cancer registries from Southeast Asia technically, as well as arrange the training program. So thank you very much for joining this course. I will just brief you who are the people in the course. We have a team from Bhutan. We have a team from Timor-Leste. We have a team from Afghanistan. We have a cancer registry team from Sri Lanka. We have a cancer registry team from Vietnam. We have a cancer registry from India, Amritsar, Varanasi. Then Muzaffarpur, Bihar, Sangrur, Punjab, Mansa, Punjab, Visakhapatnam from Andhra Pradesh, Ratnagiri from Maharashtra state, Sindhudurg from Maharashtra state, Khordha from Assam state, and we have a team from Nepal also, as well as the team from CC, that is Center for Cancer Epidemiology, my department. Also, some of the staff is attending this program. So, can we have a quick round of introduction? So, Bhutan team, madam, can you on your video so that Dr.
Good morning,
Yugen.
everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, madam.
I'm Dr. Ugen Samo. I'm an OBGYN as a specialist and look after the cancer registry in Bhutan since 2014. Actually, I work as gynae-oncologist in Thimphu.
Thank you for joining, madam. You're very senior person and always positive. She has taken a lot of efforts in running the Bhutan Cancer Registry. Is Kinley is there? Kinley? Kinley is there, madam?
Not with me. I'm at home. So
Okay.
she should have joined from home also.
Okay. So can we take
I'll
Timor-Leste
call her
team?
and ask.
Okay. Timor-Leste team. Is Timor-Leste team is online? Dr. Ram?
Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes. Is the Timor-Leste team is online?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for inviting us. The Timor-Leste team will be joining shortly with us. I am sitting on my desk and I have joined in remotely from here. And
Okay.
the rest of the team is sitting in the meeting room within our office, and they are participating there. And our cervical cancer focal person, Dr. Adriano, is there facilitating the meeting. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Ram.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Then Dr. Abdullah and team from Afghanistan. Afghanistan team. I could see Abdullah. Dr. Abdullah, you're on the line? Okay, no issue. Then we have a team from Sri Lanka. I can see Dr. Nirmala. Dr. Nirmala, can you introduce all your team members? You are mute, madam.
Yeah, I am Dr. Nirmala from National Cancer Control Program, Sri Lanka. Dr. Nirma and Dr. Chulaka also participate this program.
Very good. Thank you, madam. So we have a team from Vietnam. Vietnam is there, the team. Dr. Hun Ho Han is the Vietnam team is on the line. Yeah. Please introduce yourself, madam.
Good morning. My name is Han. I'm Dr. Han, and I'm from Ho Chi Minh City Cancer Registry. And today we have 5 colleagues join this call together. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for joining this call. Thank you. Now we have a team from Amritsar. Amritsar team. I can see Mandeep. Mandeep, introduce yourself. You are mute, madam.
Good morning, sir. I am PBCR staff from Amritsar, Tribhuramdas.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Then we have a team from Varanasi, Dr. Divya and Dr. Priyanka. Dr. Divya is online. Dr. Divya, please introduce your team. Then Anand and Rajesh is there. Mr. Anand, Mr. Rajesh, can you introduce yourself?
Good morning, sir.
Yes, introduce your team.
Myself Anand Sharma. We are from Varanasi. We are looking for Varanasi Cancer Registry, population-based cancer registry.
And how many members are attending?
We are, sorry, 5 members. For Party, myself, Amit Kumar Pandey, and Rajesh Kumar.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have a team from Bihar. Deepak is there. Deepak, please introduce your team.
Yes, everyone. I am from team Janja.
Okay. Thank you. Then Sangru, Dr. Vandita is there.
Will participate by medical record office only.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Timothy.
Because we are changing some structure about political issues. So
Okay. Then
Good morning, sir.
good morning. I will come to you, madam. Just let us finish the introduction round. Then the Sangru registry. We have a Sangru registry team.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I am Ishan from PBCR.
Please introduce the team of Sangru and Mansa.
Sir, yes, sir. We have 5 members in Sangrur and Mansa. My name is Ishan from PBCR Sangrur as a data manager.
Okay, Dr. Vandita is there on the line?
Yes, sir. Dr. Vandita is Mullanpur.
No, Vandita from Sangrur.
Sir, ma'am is on Mullanpur, Chandigarh.
Okay. So then we have a team from Visakhapatnam. Is Adarsh is there?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Adarsh, can you introduce your team?
Myself, Adarsh Kumar, sir, working as a field investigator in Visakhapatnam Cancer Registry.
Okay.
And Lokesh, Rajesh.
Okay, thank you. Then we have Sandeep from Ratnagiri Registry. Sandeep, can you introduce your team?
Yeah, good morning to everybody. I'm Sandeep Bojne, working as the supervisor in Ratnagiri Cancer Registry. And our registry has been started since 2009. And we have 2 Amita and Mr. Rohit from our team.
Okay, thank you, Sandeep. Thank you. Then we have a Sachin from Sindhudurg team.
Good morning, sir.
Can you introduce your team?
Good morning, sir. My name is Sachin Agne.
Okay, and who are other people are joining with you?
Sir, total 8 members of joined, and I am 2010 working on assistant supervisor.
Thank you. Then Dr. Bandita. Dr. Bandita.
Yes, sir. Good evening. I'm Dr. Vandita from Niger Hill Center. I'm a nodal person for the population-based cancer registry, Khurda.
It is in
And
Odisha state.
with me,
Yes.
the Odisha state, and here a research assistant from the Khurda registry present, Ms. Suprava, Ms. Subhalakshmi, and Gyana, and Jajati.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Then we have a team from Nepal. Nepal team.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
It's me, Monish Kagal, data manager from the PBCR Nepal. I'm here joined by the Ms. Sarina Gawali and Kiran Nupani right now.
Okay, thank you. I can see Afghanistan team is on the line now. Yeah, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you, sir. This is Dr. Ikram Hashimi from Afghanistan, Senior Technical Officer of National Cancer Control Program, member of the Cancer Registry of Afghanistan. We have two colleague others, Dr. Mayhan Abdullah with me, and Nasar Ahmad Niazi as well.
Okay. Thank you very much. I can see Harjot from Amritsar. Harjot, please introduce. Harjot is the principal investigator of Amritsar Registry and very dynamic leader. Yes.
Thank you for the introduction, sir. I am Dr. Harjot Singh. I am the nodal person from PBCR Cancer Registry, Amritsar, Punjab, India.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. So this is a very good team. Mixed people. Some people have experience. Some people are working in the cancer registry from last 10 years. Okay. So please mute yourself. Ikram. Afghanistan, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Okay. So we will start the today's program. Today's agenda is I will brief you about data cleaning and consistency checking. The objective of this course is the cancer registry team should be well versed with the data management. How accurately you should do the data management, how you should produce the rates of your registry, how you should produce the graphs, how you should do the data consistency checking. Quality of the data, the objective of the cancer registry to produce a good quality data so that people can use that for the research purpose. We can submit the data to the cancer incidence in 5 continents, and that is important that our data should be of good quality. And for getting the good quality data, certain principles has to be followed. So today I will brief you Sonali, can you share the agenda?
Yes,
Sonali,
sir.
you please share the agenda. So I will discuss the agenda and we'll start the course. So the agenda of the course already I have circulated to you. Data cleaning and consistency checking, I will brief you. Data cleaning using Canresh 5 software, my colleague Sushma will demonstrate you. And how to do data checking using IRC check program, again, it was already discussed with you in the month of June. Again, we'll demonstrate you how to use the IRC check program. Next day, we will show you how to calculate age adjusted rate, truncated rate, cumulative rate using the Excel. Then my colleague Sonali will show you the practical exercise, how to calculate the rate. I will brief you the theoretical aspect. My colleague Sonali will brief you the practical aspect. Then my colleague Sushma will brief you how to calculate age adjusted rate, truncated rate, cumulative rate using Canresh 5 software. We'll show you the data analysis by block wise using Canresh 5 software. My colleague Pratik will demonstrate you how to do data analysis for block wise, because each registry has 5 blocks, 6 blocks, 10 blocks, and how you are going to analyze the data using the Canresh 5 for different blocks, because sometimes certain blocks shows the different pattern. So you should aware the block how to do the analysis by block wise. And then we have developed a software called Nirmati software. It is very easy software. And how you can calculate, because through using the Canresh 5, we are not able to produce the mortality table. So how you should calculate the mortality table using the software Nirmati. So my colleague Pratik will show you how to calculate the rate of incidence as well as mortality using the Nirmati software. And that software is freely available. We'll share with all of you. Then also we'll show you the how to produce the graph, because several people knows how to produce the graph, but we thought we should keep it in that a specific incidence rate, comparison of the A standardized rate, graphical presentation of incidence and mortality rate. And in the graphical presentation, we are also showing you how to produce the rate for the pediatric cancer, how to present the pediatric cancer in graphical format. So this is the course agenda. Course is fully practical. We expect that every candidate should have a laptop or desktop. And every candidate should be aware of the Canresh 5 software, as well as he should be aware of the Excel format. So it is recommended that every person should have Canresh 5 knowledge, and every person should have Excel knowledge, and every person should have the computer, either desktop or laptop. So I will start the first lecture, data cleaning and consistency checking. See, start it. Sonali, share the screen. You are free to ask the questions, put it in the chat box. Okay, make it bigger. Yeah. Next. So total we have 59 participants. We have international participants from Bhutan, Timor-Leste, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Vietnam. And from India, we have registries from Amritsar, Varanasi, Visakhapatnam, Sindhudurg, Khurda, Muzaffarpur, Ratnagiri, Varanasi, Sangrur, Mansa, Bihar, and from Center for Cancer Epidemiology. Next. Next. See, what is important in the cancer registry? What is important in the cancer registry? All staff should be well versed that they should accurately do the case abstraction. What is important, what is basic in the cancer registry, that your staff concept of case abstraction should be clear. Case abstraction is the foundation of the cancer registry program. Your staff should be well versed with documenting the case properly. These are the common variables in the cancer registry: name, age, sex, address, contact number, source of registration, from which hospital you got this case, which hospital you got this case, address, contact number, duration of stay, from how many years the patient is staying on this address. This duration of stay is so important because it shows the exposure of the person in that population. How many years he is staying in that area. Education of the patient, income, religion, and the important variable is date of diagnosis. Date of diagnosis, basis of diagnosis, whether it is microscopic, non-microscopic, it is clinical, or it's verbal autopsy. So date of diagnosis, when you feel that this is the cancer case, I have several times explained about the concept of the date of diagnosis. Primary site, morphology, behavior, grade, state, treatment status, follow-up status, and follow-up date. So these variables, the principal investigator, the senior person of the registry's role is see that your staff is correctly abstracting the case. That concept should be clear between the staff. Next slide. See, people think that data analysis is a big job. I will say data collection is the big job, is the huge task. 90% times goes in data collection, abstraction, checking, and data cleaning. So all the registries keep it in mind. 90% time you have to devote on the data cleaning. It should be accurately numbered. Hospital name should be accurately written. Primary site, histology, date of diagnosis, coding should be done according to the ICD-3 guidelines. All the standard guidelines defined by IARC as well as in the ICD-03 book has to be followed. Because 90% time we have to spend on data collection, abstraction, and checking of the data. Once your data is clean, only 10% time is required for the data analysis. So what is data cleaning? Next. When you abstract the case, they start a system in your registry that every month or every 15 days, you should check all the variables. You have 5 to 6 staff. They collect the data, they abstract the case, senior supervisor should check the case, then data entry operator or the field staff should enter the data. Once you enter the data, every 15 days, you should check the blank variables. Whether age is blank, duration of stay is blank, income is blank, religion is blank. So how to check the variables, whether they are blanks? My colleague Sushma and Pratik will show it to you. What is the problem of all the cancer registry? At the end year, when we ask for the report, people start checking the data. No, that system should not be there. Every 15 days, you should check the blank variables. You should check the consistency checking. What is consistency checking? The patient is pediatric cancer, age is 5, and education has been entered as a post-graduation. Age is 25. What should be the occupation? Age is 4, and occupation is written as a serviceman. So that variables checking, each and every variable has to be checked properly using the logical operators, using the logical consistency check. Now, I saw when doing the quality control in several cancer registry, patient is female, but the sex is entered as male. Patient is male and sex is entered as female. So the registry staff, like Punjab, North India, when patient name is written Kaur, Kaur is commonly in female in Punjab. Even Singh is male. So registry staff should be clear what is the sex has to be entered. By mistake, sometimes we enter male to female, female to male. The other common mistakes in the data cleaning we observe, date of diagnosis and date of follow-up. Date of follow-up is less than date of diagnosis. It should not be. Suppose date of diagnosis is 1st August 2023 and your date of follow-up is March 31st, 23. There's something wrong here. So within 15 days, you should start checking this. Date of death is less than date of diagnosis. Suppose date of diagnosis is 1st August and date of 1st August 2023 and date of death is 15 July 2023. So something wrong is happening. So your job, all the data manager, cancer registry staff, whenever you abstract the case, regularly check this and take out the blank variables, take out the certain inconsistent variable like income, religion, sex, date of diagnosis, date of follow-up. Take out that list and show it to the cancer registry person and ask him to correct. Generally, what happens, people doesn't correct in the form. They just correct into Canresh file. So it is your duty The system has to be developed. It should be in the form as well as it should be in the Cancer file software. And do it properly. And everybody should be aware that you have made the changes. And the authority of the Cancer 5 data updation should be given to the only senior person. Not every 6 to 7 staff come and change their data. No. So the habit should be developed in the registry. Once case abstraction is done, case abstraction should be done according to the standard guidelines. And we have to check every 15 days the blank variables in the database, variables with no information code. Because if we give a lot of cases with no information, like age, no information, religion, no information, income, no information, that is not a good quality data. Date of diagnosis, no information, only year is there. So most of the time people put 99, 99, 2023. No, that is not acceptable. So date of diagnosis, date of death, just write year and there is no date and no month. So this no information is not good. And that consistency checking, if you do regularly, your data will be more accurate. You don't have to worry at the end of the year. You don't have to worry about end of the year. Next. And every month, you should check your data for site histology combination. My colleague Pratik will show you how to use the IRC check program, whether your site and histology combinations are correct. Canrage will take care, but sometimes it is not happening in certain sites. So we recommend it should be used in the Canrage file should be converted into check program, the file, and you should check it using the IRC check program. We will demonstrate you how to do the IRC check program, how to use the IRC check program. The common mistakes. One of my registry, very senior staffs, they have done duplicates of 48 duplicates we found. Because there is no coordination between data entry staff, no coordination between the field staff, and no coordination between the senior staff. So duplicates, check it the duplicates. Sometimes how to check the duplicates? That the case is duplicate, name, age, address, sex, mobile number, and pathology number, and see the primary site and histology. Suppose a patient name is Gurpreet Kaur. So Gurpreet Kaur, you check the name, age, address. Suppose all the things are similar, including primary site. Take out the manual record also. And one record completely put at the red line. This is a duplicate. I have deleted manually, as well as go to Canrage and delete it manually. Delete it completely. And inform to your supervisor, this is happened because we have entered the duplicate case. When you submit the data to CI5 or to IRC Signal Hub, see that data should be clean and there should not be any duplicates. So all the staff, the senior staff, see several, what's happening, I go through all the registries, almost I have visited more than 50 registries in the world. And mostly I visit to the low and middle income countries. So what I found, doing ICD coding, completing form is the registry. No, our role is to see that the data should be entered properly and we should produce the table properly. The objective of the cancer registry is to produce a good statistics on the burden of cancer in that defined area. Only doing ICD coding, primary site writing is not the registry. Or Canrage 5 is not the registry. Consistent checking of the data, consistent data checking in the Canrage 5, producing continuous tables, block-wise, period-wise, and discuss with your PI. So this system has to be developed. The data cleaning, data consistency system has to be developed continuously. Then the risky site is multiple primary. We get the multiple primary. Whenever there is a multiple primary cases there, the role of staff is to discuss with your senior. Role of field staff, role of senior person should discuss with the pathologist. If it is multiple primary, code it according to the ICD-3 guidelines as well as per the guidelines of IRC. But when multiple primary case expired, suppose there is a patient, CA breast, and patient got after 5 years Hodgkin's lymphoma. And patient is taking the treatment for Hodgkin's lymphoma. Patient died due to Hodgkin's lymphoma. So patient is multiple primary. 2015 patient got the CA breast. 2020 patient got the Hodgkin's lymphoma. So that is multiple primary. Patient expired on 15 July 2023. So it should be only one death. In the death record, it should not be 2 deaths. But in the incidence case, it will be counted in 2015 as well as it will be counted in 2020. But for the death, it will be counted only once and see the death record. Mostly because of the treatment is going on of Hodgkin's lymphoma, she may die due to Hodgkin's lymphoma. See the cause of death properly and write the cause of death. So multiple primary cases should be counted once in the mortality data. These are the common mistakes I have observed, that multiple primary cases, once the patient expires, it is counted as a double in the death. In the incidence, yes, we have to count as a double, but not in the mortality. Next. While doing the data cleaning through IRC rules, what IRC rule says in the check program, if it is non-microscopic cases, whenever there is a non-microscopic cases, we generally put in the Candresh 5 8000. But what IRC is saying now, certain tumors, though they are non-microscopic, hepatocarcinoma, pituitary tumor, melanoma of eyes, sarcoma, nephroblastoma, retinoblastoma, you have to put the morphology. So keep the photograph of this slide and we will send you the check program, this book. Today, my colleague Sonali will send you this book about the IRC check program. So according to IRC check program, according to International Agency for Research on Cancer, if certain cases are non-microscopic, we generally put for non-microscopic 8000, but certain cases like hepatocarcinoma, pituitary tumor, glioma, retinoblastoma, we have to put the morphology. So mostly we put neoplasm, but the check program is recommended that we have to put the morphology of the certain cases. So this list, you should keep it in the registry office and please circulate to all the staff members. So according to IRC check program, we have to follow this rule. Clear? Next. So common mistake in the data abstractions. When we do the data checking after using the IRC check program, what we observe, the staff has scored bone mandible C41.1, squamous cell carcinoma. And the error has come, the epithelial and other tumors morphology code does not match with the morphology side. When it is squamous cell carcinoma, bone and mandible will not come. We went through the database and we found it is a C6.02 retromolar region. Then we another found case, we found mediastinium and Ewing sarcoma. So Ewing sarcoma morphology code does not match with the topography. So what we gone through the site again, we went through the medical record and we found it is bone cancer. So whenever you find it difficult in the case abstraction coding, discuss with the pathologist or discuss with your senior. These are the errors observed in my registries. So I'm sharing you my experience. What are the common mistakes we do in the data abstraction, and we do the data cleaning. We noted these cases. So your role is to go back to the medical record, correct it, the proper case abstraction in the form as well as in the Cancer 5 software. Next. Then another error. Are there any ill-defined site? Malignant melanoma. Primary tumor site is not comparable with the ICD-10. So ICD has put 43.7. When we discuss with the pathologist, it is C44.7. Similarly, the other side, that is skin of tumor, morphology code does not match with the topography, C49.3, and the ICD-10 come as C44.9. But when we go through the properly to the medical record, we found it is C44.5. So Candrage convert your ICD-3 into ICD-10, but when we check properly, we found that it does not match with the topography. So we have to change it accordingly. Next. Then the common mistakes we found in connective and soft tissue tumor. Connective and soft tissue tumor, our staff has put 76.4 for leiomyosarcoma. But the leiomyosarcoma, it is primary is 49.1. Similarly, it is put in other side 76.1, and the correct code is 49.3. Similarly, for 76.2, leiomyosarcoma, it should be 49.4. So discuss properly with all your pathologists whenever connective and soft tissue tumors are there. Next. Adrenal gland tumor, C74.9 in ICD-03, but the pathologist said it is not 74.9, it is the cortex of the adrenal gland, so you take C74.0. So all this consistency checking has to be developed every month, not at the end of the year. Like suppose you is a national registry like Sri Lanka, so you train your person who do the case abstraction. He should be trained in case abstraction as well as checking of the data using the Cancer 5 as well as using the IRC check program. Next. So multiple myeloma. Multiple myeloma, our staff has coded 76.4, but it is ICD-10 C90.3, and the primary site should be bone marrow 42.1, but it is coded as say 76.4. Why I am showing all the errors what our registry staff has done, so that we should learn from the mistake and we should not repeat same mistakes. Next. Certain rare case also come, brain tumor, it shows ICD, and plasmacytoma. It is rare case, multiple myeloma, histology plasmacytoma, we have discussed our pathologist and it says it's a rare case. Next. So what is the message from my lecture to you? Case abstraction should be followed properly. You should check every 15 days the blank variable, consistency checking, check program. And the data modification authority should not be given to all. One person should be responsible for data modification. And correction should be mentioned in the Cancer 5 software as well as in the manual record. Next. The concept is that Cancer 5 software is not the cancer registry. Cancer 5 software is a tool. It is not the magic stick. Whatever you entered, it will produce the output. It is a program. What input you will provide, you will get the output. It is a tool to manage your cancer registry database. The senior person has to monitor the case abstraction. Senior person should check the cases every month or 15 days. Need to check all the enter cases and confirm no pending database. See what's happened? The staff doesn't know that each case has to be confirmed. If you put pending, it will not count. Suppose your staff has entered 120 cases and 20 cases are pending. When you do analysis, it will come only 100. These 20 pending cases will not come. So see that before data checking, all the cases has confirmed. Check for the duplicate. Pending cases will not be accepted in the data analysis. And use the Cancer 5 consistency checking as well as IRC check program. IRC check program is good for the checking the histology and cytology and primary site combination. Next. So thank you very much. This is the wonderful team who has visited to Mumbai, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Afghanistan, as well as Myanmar team also visited India. So any questions on my presentation? Questions, sir? You are most welcome to ask the questions. Afghanistan team, Sri Lanka team, Timor-Leste team, Vietnam team, any question? Nepal team. You are most welcome to ask me the questions. Registries from India. You can put on the chat in the chat box. Dr. Divya, Dr. Bandita, any question? You can put it in the chat box. Dr. Abdullah, any question?
Thank you. I had a question regarding the duplicates. So there if there are duplicates, it means that we have collected the data of the same patient from a few centers. So is that considered duplicate, and what we should do with that those cases?
Yes. So you have to suppose one patient has gone to the nursing home breast cancer and went for the radiotherapy. You got the two hospital data. So that duplicates, you have to see properly and complete the record, and you have to delete one case. Because one case has gone to the nursing center, then it went to the radiotherapy center. So it is showing in the nursing center also, it is showing in the radiotherapy center. But only you should see that the radiotherapy and the other record should be complete, and the counting will be only once. So I recommend that one case has two sources, but the counting should be one.
Thank you. And I read in some of the articles that they have calculated this rate, that how many cases were registered 2 times, and I wonder what this rate is called.
No, that register as 2 times means there are two aspects. Suppose a breast cancer patient went to nursing center as well as to radiotherapy center. So that one case has two sources. That is not the two registration. One case has two sources, but the counting will be one case.
For example, if 25% of the cases are having two sources, what is this called? Is this good? Is this good or bad or what
it
is
is
this
good.
thing called?
See, one case has maximum sources is a good registry. That you are not missing the case.
Thank you.
You are not missing. You enter as much as you want because one case has gone to 3 times. We are able to find that case. In the multiple source, it will be entered into multiple source, but it will be counted as only one case. And Pratik is there. Pratik and Sushma.
Yes, sir.
Pratik and Sushma, you show the, suppose the 2 sources has been entered into Canrage, it will be counted as only one, but you show in the Canrage how it comes.
Yes, sir.
See, radiologically, hepatocellular carcinoma, what the check program is showing that initially we used to enter 8,000. Now the check program has recommended that we should enter the 817039 for hepatocellular carcinoma. Timor-Leste, Nepal, Uma is there. Nirmala madam. Sri Lanka team.
Yes, sir.
Any question on this session?
No, all are clear, sir.
Okay. Dr. Yugen? Dr. Yugen?
Sir, my problem is with the follow-up.
Yes.
So the registry staff cannot follow up the patients, but they are followed up by the oncologists.
So you have to
problem is how to get.
See, again, suppose 2014-18, your data is ready, madam, I remember. So you have to go back to the medical records again to see when the patient was attended to the hospital. Suppose patient is coming regularly for the follow-up, you can do it from the medical records. As the best way that all the time I recommend to all the registries, you should have a mobile phone and you contact through the mobile phone and update the status of the patient. There will be 2 types of follow-up. The medical record follow-up will be clinical follow-up. And this is the doing by telephone is just to know what is the status of the patient, alive or dead. If it is patient is dead, you have to document date of death.
How often to do that? 6 monthly?
I recommend in the month of December.
Okay, thank you.
Vietnam team, any question? Vietnam, Timor-Leste team, Nepal team. Dr. Bandita, any question? Dr. Divya? Okay, thank you very much. Then my colleague Sushma will start the session. Data cleaning using Canrage by software. So everybody should log in for the Canrage by software. So Sushma, you start. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I hope the screen is visible to all. Thank you, sir. Just before starting my presentation, I would like to remind everyone that as sir has already mentioned to us, we should be doing this practice of data cleaning always. Always means at least once in 15 days or once in a month at least. And senior staff or the PI, that is principal investigator, should be doing this exercise in the registry. Because if we do not do data cleaning, we will not get accurate results when we are doing our reporting. I'll just share my Canrage 5. I hope everyone has opened the Canrage 5 software.
See, this exercise is more practical. So open your Cancer 5 software, and Sushma will show you how to perform the data checking in Cancer 5 software.
Kindly update me if you have already opened the Cancer 5 software. Now, just before we start, I'll just mention you the very commonly observed error. Most of the registries complain that the physical number of records do not match the number of records which we get in the report, which is generated by the Cancer 5. So we have two possible causes for this particular problem. One, either the records are not confirmed in Cancer 5 while data entry, and they are still lying pending, and so it is not included in Cancer 5 during the analysis. Second possible cause is the behavior code. Actually, we require to check the behavior code, which may be typographically wrongly entered other than 3. So we'll just check in our database what we have done. So I'll just, whenever we are doing data cleaning, we'll use the browse. Just click on browse and we can check with tumor plus patient. Now let us see how many records we have in our database. So you can see number of records which we have in our database is 703. Now, if I want to analyze my data for a particular year, maybe 2017, then I will enter the diagnosis date as 2017 0101, that is 1st of Jan 2017, and end date as 2017 December, that is 12/31, that is 31st of December. And I'll just refresh my data, and you can see the number of records which we have in our system is 703. Now, let me see what exactly I get when I analyze my data. I'll just use the table builder option.
So you can make your screen bigger so that people can see it properly.
So just try, because in Cancer 5 it is a little bit difficult.
Okay.
The incidence per 100,000 by age group is the table which I will check out, so that I'll see how many records are available. So if I do next, I'll just select the year as 2017. This is a 1-year data which I'm seeing right now in my database. So next, I'm selecting a population data set which I already have entered. See next, and we have we'll just use the CSV file. I'll just generate this file and I'll just save it in a folder which is so I have generated 2 files, that is incidence for male patients and incidence of female. So we open these 2 files in Excel. Now, if you see the Excel sheet, you have the sites, you have a common all ages where the total number of records which are for each site are displayed. So we'll go right below and check for all sites. We have total records for male cancers as 309. Let's go to the other file, that is the female incidence file. Here we have, for all sites, we have total cases as 381. So let's check the total, that is 309 plus 381, which is giving me 690. So our database is actually calculating only 690 cases. So we'll check what is the problem with our data. I'll just cancel this. Now, if I check, let me use a filter. Let me check whether all these 703 cases are malignant. Okay. We use the filter wizard. We'll say behavior equal to 3. Okay. Refresh, and we see that 3 records were not malignant, or behavior code was not malignant. So what we will have to do is just check once more. We'll just transfer all the records only with behavior code 3. Other than not equal to 3 rather, so that we have the number of the record, and these are the 3 records which were with other than malignant behavior. So it can be either a typographical error on the part of the data entry person. So we have to check all these 3 records for behavior code. Now let us see if there is any pending records. So we'll use the other filter, that is record status. Pending. We say okay. So yes, we have around 11 records in our database which have record status equal to 0. So we'll have to edit these records and check why it was left unconfirmed. So here we have this record. I think all the mandatory fields are done. Checks done is showing okay. Yes, we can confirm this record and save it once more. So in this manner, we will have to confirm all the pending records. Is it clear? If not, please let me know in the chat box. Shall we go to the next? That means if you have, I'll just repeat. You have both the conditions, either it can be pending records or it may be a behavior code which has been mentioned as other than 3. So because of which the number of total records, physical records, do not match the number of records which are taken into analysis. So we have to confirm both, whether the first condition, that is whether records have been left pending, and if they can be confirmed, and second, behavior code if it is entered wrong. So let us go to the next error, that is, which sir has mentioned, that is check for blanks. So a lot of times it is seen that variables which are not mandatory or compulsory are left blank or have been missed during data entry. So let us check some of the important variables which should not be left blank. We use the filter again. For example, we take into consideration when I'm saying blank, if there is already a drop down, that is, if it is a dictionary, it will not allow me to select just blank records. But so I have taken 5 and then I have removed the 5 when I'm using the filter. So if I refresh the table, I can see, yes, I have 2 records where education has not been entered. So let us see. So you have to go back to the physical form and check whether this has been made, this has been missed by the data entry of person, or it has been missed during data collection itself. So you can minimize your blanks in this manner. If everyone has opened their Canrich file, please check blanks for maybe area code or ethnic groups. Here in India, we have Aadhaar card as a mandatory citizenship card. So we'll just check in my database how many are Aadhaar card blanks. So out of 706 records, I have 448 records which do not have the Aadhaar card number, that is the citizenship number. So if possible, we can just check these records for whether we really have the Aadhaar card or we have missed it during the data entry. You can also check contact number of the patient. If you have patient contact number equal to blank, please do the exercise with me and please let me know how many blanks you have for contact number. Kindly update me in the chat box. Shangru team, anybody? Sri Lanka team? Can you update me how many contact numbers we have blank? Are you able to understand this part? How we should check for blanks? We can check for duration of stay. In my database, there is no duration of stay blank. Check, please check in yours and answer. Please update me in the chat box. I'm not able to know whether you are able to understand the particular topic which I'm taking. Yes, Kinley is saying yes, she can understand. Can anybody tell me how many blanks they have in the duration of stay? Okay, Varsha is mentioning 0. Sandesh is mentioning 0. Yes, good. Duration of stay is one of the mandatory fields, and so most of you will not have any records with 0 for. Okay, let us check any other field like vital status of the patient. Young Ranjan says they have 24 records blank in the duration of stay. This means that you have not confirmed your records. That is one of the reasons why.
Excuse me, ma'am, I have one question.
Yes, please.
In my software, I don't have the duration of the patient stays in the hospital. It's mandatory, ma'am.
For
this in our
cancer registry, duration of stay may not be very important. But for a population-based cancer registry, it's a very important field because we check whether the patient is a resident of that particular area. So for a hospital-based, it's not compulsory field, but for population-based cancer registry, yes.
How to update in my software?
We'll have to make changes to the XML file, and we'll have to add a dictionary also for it. So if you want, we could, we'll assist you technically for.
Okay, madam. Yeah. Okay, madam. Thank you.
Any other doubts? Yes, Sandeep Singh says contact number missing is for 13 cases. Yes, good. So I think missing cases, missing fields rather, most of us have been able to operate this properly. So we'll go to the next, that is logical checks. Logical checks will, some of the logical checks, as Sir has mentioned, age versus education. We'll just check the age and education here. Again, we'll come back to our Cambridge 5. So we'll make use of the filter. We'll check age of the patient. If, as Sir has mentioned, age less than maybe 16. Here we will use the operator, logical operator and we can mention education of the patient. Now, if you see, all the patients or pediatric patients will not have crossed at the age of 16, they will not have crossed their secondary schooling. So we can say greater than 3. In my database, in my dictionary, I have 0 as illiterate, 1 as literate, 2 as primary, and 3 as secondary. So I'm selecting 3. So education greater than 3 would be an error. And let's refresh. Yes, I do have 2 records in my database where it is wrongly entered. I'm taking a combination of both, that is age and education. And I'm using the AND operator because I want records which are satisfying both the conditions. Okay. So let's edit our record and check what has been entered. Yes. Here the age we have mentioned as postgraduate. So either the age may be wrongly entered or the education may be wrongly entered. So please go back to your form, physical form, and check what exactly is the age and education both. So this may be a typographical error in the age, or it may be a typographical error in the education. Is it clear? So if now in this case, we have this lady as Miss and calculated age of this patient. We already have the date of birth also saying that it is 2008, August 27. And here the patient has been diagnosed at the age of 8. So age may be proper, and maybe it is a problem in the education. So please check the education in the physical form and then update it. Is it clear with everyone? In my second record also, let's see. The date of birth of this patient has been mentioned as 2011. And it's a 6-year-old patient. And the education has been mentioned as not applicable for children. So the age of the patient is 6, so maybe the schooling has just started. So please verify this. It may be primary. That is possible. Maybe the patient has just started schooling. So please check and update it accordingly. Okay, let's go to the next logical check. Age and duration of stay. A lot of times what happens is pediatric patients, the parents are asked how long they are staying in a particular residence, and they just update it as last 20 years or 25 years, and that is just noted by the field investigator. So what happens later on when the data entry is done, maybe the age of the patient is 5 years and the duration of stay is entered as 20 years or 25 years as per the parents' verbal talks. So we'll just check how many such records we have in our database. Again, I'll select the age of the patient. Less than or equal to 5 years. And duration of stay. See, 1 to 5 is having 2. We'll just check for greater than 2. So I'm having one record in my database, which is age less than 5-year-old and stay duration is greater than 2. The patient is here 4 years old when he is diagnosed. And the duration of stay is 6 to 10. So is it clear with you how we are going to cross-check all these things? If your database is, if your registry is capturing marital status, we can also check marital status versus the age in a similar fashion. Or if we are capturing occupation, we can verify the occupation versus age. Okay, all these are age related. Next, we will go to site and sex. Now, already in Canrich 5, when we are selecting the sex, which is a mandatory field, the site is already checked, but it is only for C51 to 58, that is female sites, and C60 to 63, which is male sites. So normally you will not find such errors in Canrich 5, where sex of the patient, unless it is an unconfirmed, that is a pending record. It will always show you. See, when I'm selecting sex equal to 1, that is sex equal to male, and ICD site like 5, C5, I'm masking using the percentage symbol. So I'm getting one record. So maybe this is a male breast cancer patient, because C50 is corresponding to breast cancer. But if this is okay because it is a valid combination, but if it had been C51, we would definitely have got an error. We'll just check if we do get an error at this point. Okay, so these errors are automatically taken into account by Canrich 5. So I will not save my record, but close it because it may be a proper record. So we need not look into this. Let's go for the next one, that is basis of diagnosis versus histology. Now, according to the ICD-03 book, we have certain codes for non-microscopic as well as certain codes for microscopic. Now, whenever we say non-microscopic, we will have clinical investigations, or it may be clinical or BCO, or it may be certain specific tumor markers or radiological investigations that are done. So we will not get the exact histology, and we will have to code it as 8000. So all combinations which are mentioned as non-microscopic and having histology entered will have to be checked. Now, the exceptions to this rule are neoplasm, that is 8000, all the gastronomas, hepatocarcinoma, pituitary tumors, okay. As per the ICD check program manual, we have taken into account all these cases which should not be checked as error, which should not be marked as errors. All other histologies which are entered without microscopic confirmation and the histology is entered, then we will mark it as error and we have to recheck that combination. Now let us check whether we have any of the combinations in such manner in our database. We can say less than or equal to 4 because all these are non-microscopic, and we will give histology not equal to 8000. We just refresh. So we have 3 such records which are having basis of diagnosis less than or equal to 4. So we'll have to verify these cases. Let us see. I have just double clicked on this to edit my record, and we can see that this is a case, basis of diagnosis is clinical only, and histology has been entered as adenocarcinoma. Now, adenocarcinoma does not belong to any of these exceptional codes, that is for histology, which can be taken on the basis of microscopy, means it cannot be taken clinically. So there is an error either in entering the basis of diagnosis, or there is an error in selecting the histology. So we'll have to go back to the physical form and check whether we have adenocarcinoma on what basis, whether there was some cytology or there was some biopsy either from the primary site or from the secondary site, which is giving the histology code. So we cannot blindly make the changes in this particular record. We'll have to go back to the physical form and the report to check whether we have the correct histology, and only then we can edit this record. Is it clear to all? Please update me in the chat box. Yes, Sandeep is saying yes. Okay. Yes, I think we have a query from Manish. What in the cases of taken from death certificate? We'll have to take the histology as 8000, that is 8000. In case where we have the primary site and we have to take, because we do not have the histology of the case of that particular patient, then in that case, from DCO, we just mention whatever, we'll have to code the site from the DCO, from the death certificate, and we will have to mention as clinical, that is 8000 should be taken in histology. So that is one of the options which is considered, that is neoplasm malignant. Is it clear, Mr. Manish? Yes. Okay, in such manner, we'll also check the other cases, but we should not be directly updating our CanReg 5 without looking into the physical record, because either of the two, that is either the histology or the basis of diagnosis, may be wrongly entered. So please go back to the physical form, and without the physical form, it should not be edited. Now let us go to the next topic, next logical check, that is grade versus morphology. Now, grade versus morphology, we have certain carcinomas. We have in the ICD-03 book itself, we have grouping of cancers, grouping of malignant neoplasms. So there are certain cancers which are together classified into carcinomas, and this is the morphology which is mentioned. Okay. Certain cancers, hematolymphoid malignancies, and we have the histologies here up to number 14. So 1 to 6, we can have code the grade as 1, 2, 3, 4, that is for anaplastic, and 9. Is it clear? The grade code for 1 to 6 should be either 1, that is well differentiated, 2 for moderately differentiated, 3 for poorly differentiated, 4 for anaplastic, and grade 9 where grade has not been mentioned. But for hematopoietic cancers, we have grading as 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, that is 5 for T cell, 6 for B cell, or B precursor, as well as B precursor, and 7 for null cell, non-T, non-B, NK cell 8, and 9 for which the cell type has not been determined. So for 8 to 14, again, we have specifically 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Is it clear? So according to the IRC check program manual, Sonali will be sending it after this session. We can see, if the behavior code is less than 3, that is if the tumor is not malignant, that is it is either benign, borderline, or in situ, the grade should not be other than 9. We'll have to check all the cases where the behavior code is less than 3 and grade code is not equal to 9. So this, if your registry is capturing the benign or borderline cases, this is one exercise that you need to do always. Another thing, if the grade code is greater than or equal to 5, then the histology, if the grade code is less than or equal to 5, then the grade code, the histology code needs to be less than 9590. This is the histology which we checked in the previous one. If you see, these are the coding for the hematolymphoid or hematopoietic cancers. Okay. This is the histologies which start from, that is hematopoietic cancers will start from 9-5 onwards. So the grade coding can be from 5, 6, 7 onwards. But before that, for carcinomas and sarcomas, the grading can be 1 to 4 and 9. Is this clear? Okay, this has been, I've just explained you this particular statement. This particular statement in the previous slide, that is all carcinomas should be graded from 1 to 4 and it can be graded as 9. And all hematopoietic cancers should be coded from 5 to 9. Now, if the histology is 9702, now let us check in our ICD book what is the histology 9702. If you see, it is T cell neoplasms, all mature T cell and NK cell. So if all these should be coded to 5. Is it clear? Now let us see in our Canrich file system whether we can do this. I'll just open one query which I have saved. I have taken into account all the I'm just putting an and in, I'm using the in clause. You can check the in clause. This is the syntax for the in clause. You can have various histologies clubbed and you can use the in clause for checking whether these particular histologies are getting transferred. After that, you can check whether what is the grading. Here we have graded as 9. So just check 9440 in our ICD book. So this is glioblastoma, multiform, yes. So here we have coded 9. So accordingly, we can have a combination. I just use this particular in operator so that you can understand the syntax and how we should be clubbing all these together. All these should be clubbed to either 71 because We have site-specific histology, that is glioblastoma. Okay, so all these histologies, that is up to 9480. And CNS tumors. Are site specific, so these should be having site code as 71. Okay, and grade code can be 9 if it is not mentioned.
Sushma Madam, you have 5 minutes more.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we'll go to the next. There are certain grades which are already defined in our ICDO book. So grading should be similar. Here we have, for example, follicular adenocarcinoma, well differentiated, very clearly mentioned. So grade should be 1. If there is any other grade, we have to change it to 1. So already we have taken this mature lymphomas, that is B cell and T cell types. So grade should be, if for B cells it should be 6, and for T cell it should be 5. Now there are certain site specific, just now what we have seen, I had taken into account all the tumors which represented brain cancer. That is all the gliomas I had taken together and clubbed the histologies and used it for transferring and checking whether the site is either has been defined as CNS, that is 71 or 72. Any other site which is mentioned here would be wrong, and we would have to recheck our data. So these are a few things which are site specific. So check the histology on, and then check whether we have entered the proper site. So if 9510 is here, we do not have a case of this. 5.7. Please check whether it is entered to skin. If this would have not been skin NOS or skin, we would have to check exactly why this particular type of cancer has come in basal cell. So these are site-specific tumors which we need to check. Another thing which we should avoid is use of other and ill-defined sites. It should be extremely sparing, and where only we have not understood or it is not very clear, the histology is not clear or site is not clear, only then it should be C76 should be used. Now on another The last one, I think we should be using when we are, as you know already, that in Canrich 5, we are not able to generate the tables for mortality. So we should export the mortality data. But when we are exporting the mortality data, we should take care regarding the multiple primaries. As Sir has already mentioned, only one record per patient, that is should be existing in our mortality file. So if we have, once you transfer the mortality data or export it from Canrich 5, we should see whether we have multiple primaries. So if there are multiple primaries already existing, then we should be checking whether we have the cause of death. If there is cause of death has been mentioned clearly on the DC, then we should preserve that particular record, which is for the cause of death, and the other record should be deleted. So if no information has been mentioned very clearly on the death certificate, supposing if a patient is having two cancers, as Sir has already mentioned, one diagnosed in 2017 and one in 2019, then in that case, we should take the recent cancer as a cause of death. So that is one of the things. Another thing which I would like to also inform you is, a lot of times we find that Canrich 5 shows rare cancer. So here we can check for record equal to 2. So all these histologies, especially unlikely histologies, are highlighted by Canrich 5 as rare cancers. Here you can see the yellow mark. This has been mentioned as rare. But in such cases, we should check whether, for example, in this particular case, primary site has been coded as C49, that is connective soft tissue. And we have mentioned the histology as squamous cell carcinoma. Now, clearly in our ICD-10 book, it was mentioned that carcinomas will be coming from the epithelial lining and not from soft tissue. So we should be mentioning this record as a case of unknown primary, and the histology should be mentioned as squamous cell carcinoma, and it is a secondary deposit of squamous cell carcinoma in connective soft tissue. So similarly, you can also check all the records in Canrich 5 which are having this check equal to 2. I think I should be ending my PowerPoint presentation here.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. So what we'll do, we'll take a 5 minutes break, and then we will have question answer for 5 minutes, and then Pratik will take the next session. So we'll take a break for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you can ask the question to Sushma madam. And after 5 minutes, Sushma madam, you hand over to Pratik. Thank you very much. We will have a break now.
Thank you, sir.
So Pratik and Sushma, you are ready? Pratik?
Yes, sir.
So can we start?
Yes.
So please ask the questions to Sushma. Sri Lanka team, Afghanistan team, Timor-Leste, Vietnam, Nepal, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, Amritsar, Visakhapatnam, Varanasi, Bihar. Any questions to Sushma madam? Bhutan team, any questions, you put it in the chat box. If there are no questions, then Pratik can start his session.
Yes. I think
Bhutan team, Yugen madam, Kinley, Uma madam, Nepal. Manish from Nepal, any question? Okay, very good. Thank you very much for your attention. Then we'll start the next session, that is data consistency using IRC check program. In the month of June, we have already discussed, give more practical exposure on the I program. So Pratik, you can start. Is Pratik is online? Yes, Pratik, you can start.
Hello, is my voice audible?
Yes, speak loudly a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So recently we saw about how we can check the consistency of data using the Candish file. Now we will see how we can use the IRC check program to logically check whether the Candish file data is valid or not. So what I will do, I'll quickly share my screen. Screen sharing on करा. Okay. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Okay. So IRC and ICR has developed a software aiming at a tool or a program which will check and perform conversions for cancer registries. The software is named as IRC ICR Cancer Registry Tool. A variety of methods are employed to check validity in cancer registry. A widely used method is the so-called internal consistency, which we will be using, whereby computer algorithms are used to detect unlikely or impossible codes or the combination of codes. You can download the software from the website. I have mentioned the link here. It is www.iacr.com.fr. When you log on to this page, here you can see I have attached a screenshot where you can find a drop down for support for registries, and under that drop down you will see an option called CanRich and other IT tools for registries. When you click and open this link, you will be diverted to a new page where at the bottom you can see you can download the software from this web page. So also this software is only for the Windows operating system. Other operating system it won't be applicable, so you have to check for that. Now we will see what type of input file is accepted in this software. We will not go in detail about its technicalities. So just for a confirmation that which type of file is accepted. So here I have mentioned that the file format PRN, PAT and RPT are the file format which are been accepted in the IRC check program. We will also see how we can convert those files and how to use that files. So here I have attached a screenshot where you can see we will first have to convert the data. So for that we will be using the file transfer option. So what are we doing here? We have data in the CanRich file. So I have also logging to the CanRich file software as well. Here I have a demo data set. When I refresh the table, you can see there are total 703 records, the same records which Sushma madam used for the demonstration. So here what I did is I will be using this 703 records into the IRC check program software. So we will see step by step how we can do this. So the first step would be exporting the CanRich file data. And we will also see which columns are required, which data is required for the IRC check program. So here in the presentation slide, you can see I have mentioned all those 10 columns which will be required for the IRC check program. First would be the registration number, which is nothing but the unique number of each record. Then we have gender, sex, then topography, which is nothing but the primary site, histology, behavior code, grade, basis of diagnosis, incidence date, birth date, and age. So these are the total columns required for the IRC check program. And we will be needing this data from our CanRich file software. So what we will do is I will quickly jump onto the CanRich file software. What I will do is I will try to export the data. So for exporting the data, I will go on to the analysis menu, click on the export data option. Here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to export the data from the CanRich file software, and I know I'm trying to export the data of year 2017. So here in the range option where it is written date of diagnosis, so I'm mentioning that I want the data of 2017, incidence data of 2017. So at the start date, I will enter the start date as 2017 year 01, which is nothing but the month 01 and the date 01. So the date is 01/01/2017, which will be my starting date, and the end date would be 2017 12, nothing but December and 31st. 31st December 2017 would be my ending date. I will refresh the table. I can see there are total 2,500 records. So I'm using filter here. I'm using filter as record status as confirmed. So this is a short query which Sushma madam taught us in the previous session. I am applying a filter which is stating that the record status of that page of that age record should be confirmed. Quickly we'll see what I'm trying to do is when you try to save a record, here you can see if the record status, we usually when the record is confirmed, we click here in the drop down menu and we will search for the confirm option and we confirm it. So I am only trying to export the data of confirmed cases. That is why I'm using this filter. So when I refresh the table, I can see there are total 2,400 records. So what extra filter I'm applying is I'm trying to only export data of a specific block. Now, how to work on a specific block level, we will obviously see in the third day of the course, which we have separately arranged for that, how to use or how to work on the block-wise data. But for currently, for time being, I am using this query to export the data. We will obviously see how this all works. So after the block level filter, you can see there are total 703 records, which I will be using for the IRC check program. But now what we have is all the columns are selected. But as we saw in the previous slide, that we only need these 10 columns. So how to choose only these 10 columns? So in the Candish file, in this export data wizard, on the right side, you can see we have the option to select the variables. So I will unselect this option, unselect all variables, and I will try to search all those 10 columns from this list. So first I will be needing the age of the patient, then I require the basis of diagnosis, then behavior. Similarly, I will search for the further columns. So I have this option required column, date of birth. Then I require date of diagnosis. I'm just selecting all the columns which I will be needing for the IS check program. Then I will require this column histology. And then okay. I will be selecting the primary site. Then I will search for gender, sex. And tumor ID. And that's all, I guess. I quickly refresh the table and I will verify I have selected all the columns or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One column is missing. I will quickly try to check which is the column. So I have missed the column grade. So I will select the column grade and I will refresh the table again. So now I have selected all the required columns which will be needed for the IS check program. So I'll quickly export the table. Also wanting to mention that the table type would be tumor plus patient. If when you select this table, then only you will get all this option. I will again select all those columns, age of the patient, behavior, date of birth, date of diagnosis, grade cell type, histology, and primary site, gender, sex, and tumor ID. I will quickly verify the number of columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, I have selected all this 10. I have a question from the chat from Ms. Varsha. Registration number is missing. Currently, what I have did is I have selected the tumor ID as my unique number, which is nothing but the registration number. I will try to export the table. I am exporting the table in the file format, comma separated values. So I will keep the same. I will click on export button. I will search for the data where to save it. Exported data. Give the file name as exported data for IRC check. .csv. I am mentioning the extension as .csv at the end of the file name. I will click on save. data has been successfully exported. And this is the exported data, which I will be needing in the IRC check program. So the first step was exporting the data from Candice file. So we have did it. Now second step would be using the IRC registry tool and the option called file transfer. So what we will be doing is we will be converting the exported Candice file data in a specific format. And which specific format we have discussed in the previous slide. So this is the whole procedure, the whole process which we are trying to follow. From Candice file, we are exporting the data in CSV. So we have completed this first step of exporting the data from Candice file. And we have exported in comma separated values. The second step would be converting this comma separated values into fixed file format, which is the .prn format. And we will be doing this with the use of file transfer option in the IRC software. So I'll quickly open the IRC registry tool software. In the tools menu, I will select this option called file transfer. Now when I open the file transfer option here, the software is asking me to select the input file, which is nothing but the recently exported comma separated file. So for that, I will click on this browse menu. Here, I will try to navigate to the path where I have saved the data. So this is the file which I have just exported, which is nothing but the CSV file. I will click on open. Then I will check this option called first row has column names, which specifies that the selected files has first row as column names. Then I will specify the output file, like where the output file should be saved. So I will try to navigate to the folder where I want to save the exported data. So I am saving the file in this folder. I will save as converted fixed format file. And I will click on button save. So you can see here at the end of this path, automatically the .prn extension has been added. And then I will click on this next button. Here the Candice file software is asking me, sorry, the IRC check program software is asking me to select all those columns which you want to export. So I will select all these columns by clicking on the column names, and I will specify that all these columns needed to be converted. Once all these columns are been selected, I will click on this button finish, and all this record has been converted. I will click on this button again, finish. I will quickly try to navigate and open that specific converted file. So this is a converted file. You can see all this data has been exported. So what I have did is I have exported data, but I have exported the data of the complete year 2017. No problem, we will use the same. So once the data has been converted in the specific required format, now we will use the IRC Cancer Registry tool and the option of IRC check program. So under this tools menu, I will click this first option, IRC ICR check program. And here the software is asking me to select the input file. So this input file would be nothing but the recently converted input file which we have just converted. So I will click on the browse button. I will navigate to the folder where I have just converted the file in the PRN format. I will open that file. Now the software is asking me where do you want to save the output files. I will click on the browse button. I will select the same folder. Just I will rename the file as output. I will click on save. Then I will click on next button. Here the IRC check program software is asking me to select the range of each field. For example, what I have to do is I have to select the registration number from this below preview window. Now how I can do is I will first click on the variable name registration number. Then I will try to select the starting range of that registration number. As I can see, this code is nothing but the registration number. As I know it, that's why I selected the starting point of that column, and I will similarly select the ending point of that column. So in this way, I have selected the column registration number. Then I have to select the column for variable sex. So I will search for the data for sex, and I can see that at the end of the file, this column is nothing but the column sex. So I will select the starting point and the ending point of that column. Similarly, I will do for the topography. Here I can see that this column is nothing but for the column of topography. I will select the starting and the ending range. Similarly, for the histology, starting and the ending range. Then for behavior, okay. So what I did is I by mistakenly not selected the proper format for the histology. I will again click on the histology variable. I will unselect the ending point, and I will reselect the proper ending point of histology. Now it is proper. So I have did for the behavior. Now I will select for the grade. So this is my grade column. I will select the starting and the ending point for the grade. Basis of diagnosis, incidence date. So this is the incidence date. This is the birth date, and at the end, this is the age column. So once we have selected all the ranges of all the required columns, we will click on the button next. Here the candidate files of the IRC check program software is asking me the default code for some certain variables. So it is confirming that the sex code for male is 1, female is 2, the age unknown code is 99, and the basis of diagnosis code for microscopic verification are 5, 6, 7, and if any, you can add a new code as well. And also the date format of incidence and birth date is year, month, and date format. And the same format are been present in the input file which we have just exported from the candidate file. If you have any different codes, what we can do is we can change the code from here as well. And if you want to create a one record for each type, you can click this option. So new record can be generated for different types of error. Then I will click on next button. Here the check program software shows me what type of verification can be done, what type of validity checks and the consistency check would be applied on the data. So here you can see what checks would be applied on the data which you have selected. Then I will click on the finish button, and here you can see this is the output of the IRC check program. Total number of records which we on which the check program was applied is 2639. The warnings are 61, and the total errors which we have are 64. So this is the kind of summary of the check which we applied on the data. I will click on this OK button. This is the detailed summary of the check program. What we will do is we will see what type of files are generated by the IRC check program. So here you can see these are the total files which has been generated. Now which file we need to check? So if you want to check the total number of errors, I will quickly open the summary of check. Here you can see there are total 61 warnings and 63 errors. So if you want to check which are those errors, so what we will do is here the generated files. Here you can see in the type ERR, this is nothing but the error file. So we have to open this file to check the total number of errors generated by the IRC check program. So these are total number of errors which we have in the data. So this is the demo data which we have created for the demonstration purpose. So here you can see for the record number 1, it shows that the behavior code is wrong for this data. Similarly, here you can see the birth date for this record. The birth date is in the wrong format. As you can see here, that we can clearly see the date of birth format is not in proper format. So these are total 64 errors the Candice software has been shown from the data. Now, if you want to check the warnings which has been generated from the check program, here you can see the total number of 61 warnings from the data which we have checked. So for checking the warnings, you have to open this file, CHK file. The type would be CHK. So I will just double click and open that file. Here in that file, you can see there are certain warnings that we have to recheck the data. So for the first data, you can see it is showing as there could be a problem or a inconsistency regarding the age, site, and histology. Similarly, for second record, it shows that there could be a problem for histology or site. And same you can see for multiple record as well. That could be a possibility where there could be a problem in the grade or morphology. So this is how you can use the IRC check program to check whether there are errors or some kind of warnings in your data. So in this way, we will see what are the errors or warnings. And the next step would be how to clear those errors. So in this, when we reach at this stage, what the role of the registry staff would be that you have to consult or you have to ask your principal investigator or the person or the superior person that we have received such kind of errors and we have to correct those errors. So you have to seek help from your consultant or the medical officers which you have in your setup, so that they can physically check the data, check the files, and based on that they will verify that really that data which we have entered is correct or not. And based on that, we have to make changes into the Candice software as well. So what we will do is we will consider some examples from the data which we have just checked. We have Ms. Sushma ma'am with us. So what we will do is we will try to check whether this entered first record is really correct or not. So at this moment, the IRC check program says that there might be a discrepancy or there might be a problem in data for age, site, histology for record number or for the specific record number. So what we will do is we will try to open this record into the Candice file. So here I can see while exporting the data, I have exported the tumor ID. So I will copy this tumor ID from this file. I will go to the Candice file and I will try to open that specific record. So for that, what I will do is I will click on this browse edit window. Here on the top right corner, we have option for editing tumor record. So I will just copy paste that specific tumor ID which we got in the error file, in the warning file of the IRC check program. I will paste that code and I will press enter. And this is the same case on which the IRC check program says that there might be some inconsistency, and we will try to figure it out that really we have such inconsistency in the data or not. So before moving forward, I would just like to ask every participant that is it clear till the step on how to use the IRC check program? If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the chat box or you can directly unmute and ask the question. Please let us know that you are cleared on how to use the IRC check program, or if you have any problem in any step, then you can please ask me on the chat box or you can directly unmute yourself. Yes, Mr. Anand, you can ask. Okay, so after PRN format conversion, not clear. Okay, no problem. We will see those steps quickly. So other participants, do we have certain kind of doubts or do you have a new doubt? Please do ask us in the chat box or you can directly unmute yourself. Okay, till the participants ask different doubts, what we can do is we will try to clear the doubt which you have, Mr. Anand. So I will just quickly share my PPT. So yeah, this whole process we saw for file conversion. I think Mr. Anand is clear with this step that we exported the data from the Candice in CSV format, then we converted the CSV format file into specific PRN format required for the ISC software. So till now we have clear. Now we will see how to use the check program. I will clear this window. Okay. I will click on this tools menu. I will open this option IRC check. Here I will select the input file. The input file is nothing but the PRN file which we just converted. So I will click on browse button and I will go to the path where I have saved the PRN file. Here you can see the second file is the PRN file which we have converted. I will click on open. Then I will select where I want to save the output file. As we are performing checks on the data, so here the software is asking that where do you want to save the output check data. So I will click on the browse button. I will select a path where I have to save the data of output checks. So here I am just creating a new folder. I will open that folder and I will give a specific name so I can understand this is the output check file. I will click on save. So in this step, what I have did is I have selected the input file and I have specified the output file, like where I want to save the output data. Then I will click on this next button. So here the software is asking me, where do you want? So this has already been selected. I will just unselect the data. So that would be easy for you to understand that what we are trying to achieve. Okay. So the software will ask me that please select the registration number from the below data. So what I have to do is I have to select the registration number from this preview data. So how I can do is, as I know this whole code, this data is nothing but the registration number, the unique number. So for this selection, I will click on the starting point of that data. So what I'm doing is before 2, I will click on that specific area. So when I click on a specific area, you can see that a vertical line has been generated, which specifies that this is the starting point for the registration number. Now I have to mention the ending point for the registration number. So for that, what I will do is I will click on this specific point after 1. You can see a specific section. I will click on that section and then you can see this whole column data is been highlighted by the blue color, which specifies that I have selected the starting point and the ending point for this registration number. Similarly, I have to perform this starting point and ending point selection for the column sex. So for that, I will search in this data preview where my sex column data is been saved. So I am scrolling to the end of the preview data column, and I can see that this ending column is nothing but the sex column. So for that, I have to select the starting point and the ending point for the sex. That is why I will select the area before 2 and after 2. So this automatically selects the starting point and the ending point for the sex column. Similarly, I have to do for the all this column. I will do for the topography and starting point and the ending point for topography. And rest for others, I will verify whether I have selected the same data or not. Histology, yes, I have selected it correctly. Behavior, yes. Grade, yes, I have selected correctly. Then we have basis of diagnosis, incidence date, birth date, and age. Yes. So I have selected the data correctly. And then I will click on next button. Now in this window, the software is asking me to verify the codes which you have in your data. So in our data, the code for male is 1 and the code for female is 2. So this is the same code which I have in my data. Let's suppose you have any different code. Let's suppose you have code 5 for female and 6 for female. Then you can change from this window. But at the moment, the code for male is 1. That is why I am keeping the same code 1 for female and 1 for male, 2 for female. Let's suppose you have age unknown code, a different number. Let's suppose you have age unknown code as 00. You can change from this window. But at this moment, the age unknown code for my data is 99. So I am keeping the same as 99. Similarly, if you have different basis of diagnosis code for microscopic verification, then you can change. Similarly, if in the data, the date format is different, then you can specify the different date format which you have in the data. Same for the incidence date and same for the date of birth date. But at this moment, the data which I have selected, the incidence date format is year, month, and date, and the date format for birth date is year, month, and date. This is the same format which we have exported from the Candage file. So I will not change the date format. And then I will click on next button. When I click on the next button, here the software shows what will be the consistency checks applied on the data which we have selected, and what would be the validity checks would be applied on the data which you have selected. Then I will click on finish button, and here the check program will show what are the total warnings and errors do we have in that specific data which we have selected. So I hope Mr. Anand would be clear till now, like what would be the next step once you convert the data in PRN format. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, he is clear. Thank you very much. So I guess there are no further doubts till now on how you can use the IRC check program software. We will quickly see what would be the further step when we encounter warnings or the errors. So for that, what we did was we opened the warning file which we have. We considered this first record. At the moment, we are trying to check whether this first record, for this record, the check program said that there might be some inconsistency for the age, site, and histology. So we tried to open this record in the Candage file software. So this certain column data is nothing but a tumor ID. So I will copy this tumor ID. I will open my Candage file software. I will open the browse edit window, and here in the browse edit window, I will paste the tumor ID in this specific section, and I will click on this button, edit tumor record. When I click on that edit tumor record button, can Dashwai open this specific record, and here we will try to check, do we really have any problem in the data? Do we really have inconsistency in the data on which the IIC check program has shown warning to it? So I will ask Ms. Sushma to please check the data and kindly verify that do we really have problem in the data. Directly bola.
Actually, if you check, the neuroblastoma is a pediatric tumor. So we'll have to reconfirm from the, we require to reconfirm that this particular record is actually a pediatric case or it is an adult case. So we'll have to go through again to the physical form and check this record. So without physical form and the our report, we will not be able to confirm this. So please check, in such cases, please check the physical form and the report.
Okay. So these were the inputs for the first record. Now what we will do is, we will try to check whether the second record is logically right or not. I will try to copy this tumor ID. I will close this previous record. I will open the current record, which we will try to verify if it is right or not. So this is the record on which we received the error for histology site or not site-specific sarcomas. So we'll ask Ms. Sushma to check whether this data is logically right or not. So this is the record which we have. Ms. Sushma, please let us know whether it is right or not.
Here, actually, the primary site has been selected as connective soft tissue. This is not the primary site, but it is a secondary site. So we will have to code it as unknown primary. The histology will remain the same because it is adenocarcinoma. Grade is same, and we'll again click on checks not done. Click on OK. So we have generated the ICDO code. Now if you can see, checks done is OK, it is green. Earlier it was showing us as rare. So now we can confirm this record and save it. Three. Okay. Now this record also is rectified. The only thing you have to confirm before this is if you have a specific record or a specific report which is pointing out to adenocarcinoma and the histology. If we have, in the absence of any other report which is showing the primary site, maybe it may be GI site or it may be some other site. So in the absence of this record and only the connective soft tissue showing deposits of adenocarcinoma, we'll have to change the site as we have done so just now.
So we saw two examples about how we can check whether the data is logically right or not. So these were the warnings we received from the ACTREC program. So after the output of IRC check program, it is our duty to verify these warnings are really valid or not. So for that, we have to open each and every record, and we have to physically check the record whether we have entered the right details or not. And also we can seek help from the consultant or the medical officer which you have in the setup, because that is mandatory. So this is the required step or the further step we have to follow once we use the IRC check program. So these were the warnings. What I will do is I will try to open the error file which the IRC check program was generated. So this is the error file. So here you can see there is an on-front error that you can see for this record. For this record, the date of birth is invalid. So this is the obvious error which we have, which we can see, and we have to rectify it. So what I am doing is I am copying the tumor ID of the specific record. I am opening the specific tumor record into the Candice software. I have pasted that record. So here you can see the date of birth is not in proper format. It could be 1950-01-01. I will perform checks on that data. It says no, the age is not right. So what is the age we will see? The expected age should be 68, but it has been stated as 48. So these are the data entry errors which we can see. As you can see, the date of birth should be 1950. So, and the date of diagnosis is 2018, and the age of the patient entered is 48. Yes. So in this scenario, obviously we have to check the physical form which we have. So we have to open the form which we have maintained for each specific cancer patient, and we have to verify that whether the date of birth is really 1950 or not, or the date of diagnosis is correct or not. If the date of diagnosis and date of birth are same, so far at this moment I am assuming that the date of birth and the date of diagnosis is correct, and the error is the age of the patient is incorrect. So I will change the age as 68, which could be the correct age. I will click on this checks button, and now the Candice file says yes, the data is been logically correct. I will click on OK button. Here you can see the checks done status is OK. Now I will change the record status from pending to confirm, and I will click on save all. The record save, it says yes. Now I can see that this specific record is logically correct. So what we did was, first we use the IRC check program to check whether my enter data is correct or not. Then the IRC check program said that this specific record has a problem. Problem in which column? In date of birth column. So what I did was I copied the tumor ID from this error file. I opened that specific record in the Candice file, and I cleared the date of birth. I verified that okay, the date of birth was by mistakenly entered incorrect. So I corrected the date of birth. Then I tried to save that record. Then I identified that, oh, the age of patient is not correct. So I corrected the age of patient, and then I performed checks on it. Then I confirmed it, and then I saved the specific record. So here the important step would be, once you correct the record, once you verified and made the required correction, you had to obviously first you have to perform checks again, and the most forgotten step is to make that confirm case. Usually what we have seen is mostly the data entry operators or the users correct the cases they make the required change into the case, they perform check, and they directly save the record. They forget to change the record status from pending to confirm, and due to which they face a problem where they say that the number of confirmed cases less, or the table which has been generated from the Candish file is been generated on less number of records. So it is compulsory to follow this step. Once you make the changes in the record, perform checks on it, then once the checks are done, the status is okay, you have to make changes into the record status, you have to change from pending to confirm, and then we have to save the record. So this is the whole procedure of using the IRC check program. Till now, if you have any doubt, then please do ask me in the chat box, or you can directly ask by unmuting yourself. So we are ready for the question answer session or for our discussion.
So please, you are most welcome to ask the question to Pratik and Sushma. They're very experienced faculty from my unit, and they have performed several analyses using CanRESH 5. They are the master trainer for the CanRESH 5 software. Please ask. So Vietnam team, you have any question? Nepal team, Sri Lanka, Timor-Leste, Bhutan, and other Indian registries. Please welcome. You are most welcome to ask the question. Dr. Yugen? Yeah. Pratik.
Okay, so we have a question that if the age of the patient is 11 months, but software can't pick the age in months. So in that scenario, if the age is less than 1 year, then we will input the age as 0. So the answer would be for this question that if the age is less than 1 year, which is nothing but in months, let's suppose the age of the patient is 6 months or 3 months or 8 months, then we have to enter the age as 0.
Afghanistan team, any question?
Okay, we have a question that it is possible to identify duplicate registration number in Candish software and also for missing registration number. So you have to check whether do we have duplicates in the data or not based on the registration number. So registration number, can you please explain what exactly is the registration number?
See, he wanted to mention, Pratik, that they give the registration number, 2018-001.
Okay.
Sometime 2018-001, they may have allotted to other case also.
Okay. So in that scenario, we have an option called frequency distribution. I will just quickly try to show you the same. But in the meantime, you can, other participant, you can ask your question in the chat box. We will try to clear the doubt which we have for Mr. Anand.
Afghanistan team, any question? Kabul registry. Vietnam team.
Okay, so for the question asked by Mr. Anand, he says that we have a separate variable, a separate column where we manually generate a ID, manually generate a code for each patient which we receive in the registry, and we call it as registration number. So can we find duplicate? Like if he's asking that by mistakenly we have entered multiple data, or we have entered 2 times the data for specific registration number. So can we find out that whether we have inputted the same data multiple times for the specific registration number into the candidate file. So yes, we can do the same. What we have to do is you have to go to the analysis menu in the candidate file software. You have to click on this option called frequency distribution. When you click on the frequency distribution option, a new window will be opened. You have to, for the specific doubt which you have asked, for that we have to search for the column name registration number that would be present in your candidate file software. So I will scroll down, I will search for the column registration number. I will select a specific column and I will click on refresh table button. So when I click on the refresh table button, here you can see for year 2005, do we have only one case for this specific case number? So here you can see at this moment, currently I don't have any duplicate number, duplicate data entry for the specific registration number. But in your case, you can do the same at your end. You have to open this frequency distribution window from the analysis menu, and then you have to search for this column registration number. You have to select it, and then you have to click on refresh table. Now, if you find that for this specific ID, the count of the cases is 2, the count of the cases is more than 1, then you can say that for this specific registration number, multiple data entry has been done. So in this manner, you can try to find out the duplicates entered for only for that specific registration number. I hope that is clear for you, Mr. Anand. Okay, so we
Yes.
have also doubt from Timor-Leste.
Yeah.
Can't backup data ending. Okay. So I think you are trying to perform the same step into the candidate file software. Can you please elaborate the same? Can you
Timor-Leste team, please explain clearly so that we can answer you very well. Dr. Ram, can you help us?
Data export as well. Okay.
Dr. Ram?
So I can understand you are trying to export the data from the candidate file from the specified date range you have mentioned in the chat box. Is it the same yet you are trying to export the data? The start year is 2023 1st August and the end year is 31st August 2023, and you are not able to export the data. Is it the same? Or if it is possible, you can share your screen. We will try to solve the same. In the meantime, Timor-Leste team elaborate the doubt. Other participant, do we have any queries or doubts regarding the procedure of how we can use the IRC check program? And then please do let us know.
Mr. Prateek?
Yes, Ms. Nirmala.
Yeah, in multiple primary cases, the registration number is same numbers not appear in the candidate file. In multiple primary cases?
Yes, you are right, ma'am. In multiple primary cases, the registration number and the scenario Mr. Anand explained that they are manually generating a code for each patient. So in that scenario, if that patient is multiple primary, then obviously they will have multiple tumor records for the specific patient. That is why you will see count as 2.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
So in that scenario, we can't say that this is a duplicate record. The record is correct because we are having 2 different tumor records. That's for the specific. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So in that scenario, the record is correct. The registration number, which is manual generated, would be will be the one for that specific 2 tumor record, because we are giving that registration number uniquely for that specific patient, not for
Okay.
specific tumors.
Tumors. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly. I hope that is clear, madam.
you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sushma
Mr.
madam,
Jindal.
there is a question from Vaisa.
Yes, sir. We can take, but it is advisable that you keep the basis of diagnosis 6.
See, this is a common mistake done by the cancer registry team. See, Canrage doesn't accept the secondary site in the primary morphology. So suppose it's a squamous cell carcinoma METS. It is you can take it the basis of diagnosis as a 6, but they doesn't accept in a Canrage 5. It gives us the error.
IRC check program will always give an error for this.
Yes.
Behavior code should be mentioned as 3 and it should be coded as unknown primary.
So certain cases need to discuss with your supervisor because it is a general, but in Canrage it doesn't accept.
Is it clear?
Others, it is clear to you or you have? Okay. Vietnam team is on the line. Vietnam team. Any question?
Yes, Vietnamese is learning, but
Your voice is echo. So you
we import Excel files to Canrage 5, and we have some problem when we duplicate. And next time we have a training course. So
madam, your voice is echo. Can you put it in the chat box?
And, we will ask for specific situation. Thank you.
Pratik, you are able to understand?
Yes, sir. I guess they are trying to say that they have some problem in the data. They have some duplicates. So I think we can have a separate session with them and we'll try to figure it out.
Okay. Madam, we will have a separate session with you. Is Dr. Lean is there on the line? Dr. Lean, you are in Vietnam. Are you on the line? Okay. Afghanistan team. Dr. Abdullah. Afghanistan team. Dr. Ikram, any doubt? Dr. Bandita, any question? Dr. Divya? Deepak? Dr. Harjot?
No, sir.
Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sangrur Mansa team, Ratnagiri, Sandeep. Sandeep, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Sachin, Sindhudur.
Okay, Sachin, Sindhudur.
Okay. Thank you very much for your attention. We really enjoyed today's session. Thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow. Point of action from our side. Ms. Sonali will send you the IRC check program manual, and as well, Sushma Madam will send you tomorrow's link. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we'll discuss about how to calculate the rates, age adjusted rate, truncated rate, cumulative rate, and how to calculate that rate in CanREG 5 also. We'll show you how to calculate in Excel, how to calculate in CanREG 5, and Sushma Madam will show you how to calculate the rate by different blocks also. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.